everybody, Elizabeth Hines here from our Paleo family in the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club. I have a really simple but yet delicious treat recipe for you today. We're going to make lemon curd, and I'm going to get it started and then I'm going to talk to you about it. So in this measuring cup, I have a half a cup of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and a half a cup of honey. This is a raw local honey, which is always the best if you can find it. Half a cup of honey, half a cup of lemon juice, and I zested one of my lemons. I had a huge lemon, and so I just zested the one with my microplane grater. Oh, there's a dirty dish in the sink, sorry. A couple things. It's thundering off and on. It's sunny right now, but there's still a rumble of thunder. I am canning tomatoes, which they have to process for 45 minutes. So there's like this low boiling sound in the background. There's that. And now there's a dirty dish, so I'm sorry, but that's real life over here. Rarely doing one thing at a time. I put in the zest of that one lemon. The zest brings some extra lemony flavor, so if you want to add extra, you can add extra. I generally do about a tablespoon. And I want my heat on about medium. This is 4 tablespoons of grass-fed butter. You could use coconut oil, palm shortening, ghee, and those 3 would all be paleo, dairy-free options. I know that I can tolerate this good quality grass-fed butter, and I prefer the taste of it, so that's what I'm using. But the recipe works perfectly well with ghee, coconut oil, or palm shortening. Depending on the coconut oil that you use, it could impart a kind of strong coconut flavor, or maybe a mild coconut flavor, which with lemon curd, hang on, I need to turn my stove down. Lemon curd, a coconut flavor would be awesome. I'm thinking like sort of pina colada type application. But the ghee would have sort of a nutty flavor. It's a different flavor than butter, but it would have some flavor, which is really nice. Palm shortening would have no flavor at all. It would you just get your lemon flavor. So that's everything. No, I need vanilla. So this mixture, the honey, the lemon juice, the butter, the lemon zest, and the eggs are going to cook. I'm going to whisk them pretty regularly. I'm going to pause and I'm going to wash that dish so it gets out of the view. But I'm going to whisk pretty regularly it's going to take about 10 minutes. It needs to come up to a little low simmer. And it needs to thicken. That's it. We're just waiting for it to thicken. And then when I pull it off the heat, I'm going to strain it. I'm going to add a pinch of salt and just a little bit of vanilla. So I'm just whisking. Make sure my eggs are mixed up really, really well. A lot of lemon curd recipes will call for just egg yolks, like 6 to 8 to 12 egg yolks. And it's just really not necessary. You can make it with whole eggs. It works just fine. If you use all yolks, it adds a little extra richness, but unless you really have a use for the whites, they'll maybe end up going bad in your fridge. So when I can use whole eggs in a recipe, I prefer to use whole eggs. Now, you might be wondering what you're going to do with this lemon curd. Well, it's delicious, and you can just eat it with a spoon. And it has a really sharp, fresh lemon flavor. It's very refreshing. I love it for a dessert. Just like a couple bites of lemon curd is delicious. You could use it to make all kinds of desserts, like a trifle type thing if you have some sort of cake, like a pound cake or just any kind of cake that you eat. Mixing that with some cream, either whipped cream, whipped coconut cream, and the lemon curd makes an awesome dessert. I made some lemon tarts recently. Now to make the tarts, I actually turned this curd into pudding, which I'll tell you how to do that. I love like a shortbread cookie dipped in lemon curd, something like that. You can, all sorts of things. I know people put them on biscuits or put curd on biscuits or scones. It is an ingredient in a lot of different types of desserts and treats. It keeps for a long time in the fridge. Just keep it well sealed in a well sealed container. To turn this into pudding, I would add, just like I did here with the butter and the lemon juice and the honey and the lemon zest, the eggs, a whole can of full fat coconut milk, and cook it exactly the same way. Mix up about a tablespoon of some gelatin, a little bit of gelatin. I'm going to turn this down, it's cooking a little fast. With your milk, and then you can have pudding. Or a really easy way would be to whip your cream. So you can whip coconut cream, or you can whip, regular heavy cream, and fold that into your lemon curd, and it will lighten it up and make it more like a pudding. So you can use this in a lot of different ways. So can you see that this is really thick? This went way faster than it does on my stove. So I guess I underestimated the power of my little burner here. I didn't have time to go wash my dish, and I'm sorry about that. I'm going to put this coconut milk over here because I'm not going to make pudding today. I'm just going to make curd. But the classic way to tell when a pudding or a curd like this is done is to see if it will coat the back of a spoon. So get someone your wooden spoon, run your finger through it, and if the line stays, it's ready. We'll turn the heat off. You know what? I think my instructions were written down for pudding, which does take a little bit longer because there's just the extra liquid in there with that full can of coconut milk. So I was really just totally lost my balance. 4 or 5 minutes max. So just a pinch of salt, a splash of vanilla. If you boil the vanilla, it just loses some of its flavor. So then you want to strain it. So this is my preferred type of strainer. I just happened to break it. The handle broke off, which is a little bit of a pain. So I'm going to hold. This is when it would really be nice to have 3 hands, but I don't have 3 hands. I need to scrape everything out of my pan. I'm going to do this first. You want to just run it through a fine mesh strainer because the egg will cook. You will have some little bits of scrambled egg, and you don't want that in your finished product. And what I typically do is, especially if I'm making pudding and I've used some gelatin in it, once I have it in the fridge to set, I will, before I serve it, I will strain it again just to make sure there aren't any little clumps of anything I don't want. Now you want to scrape the outside of your strainer because there'll be so much of your lemon curd on there. And I don't want to use this one because it has the little bits of scrambled egg on it, and I don't want any of that to end up in my lemon curd. I'm going to set it right there. I've got to get a new strainer, but I'm filming this during all the coronavirus stuff that's still going on, and I'm just not going to stores, When I do go, it's kind of depressing because the shelves are empty and, there aren't a lot of people and people seem kind of grumpy. Everybody has a mask on, and shopping is never my favorite thing to do, but, once a month I might go to Walmart or Target, someplace like that, and I would just pick up another strainer. But I just haven't been. So I haven't picked up another strainer. I need to add it to my order online list. So that's it. Was it even 5 minutes? 10 minutes total. I know it was 5 minutes. It was probably 10 minutes total. It's smooth and amazing. Now, if I wanted to serve this right away, I would just create an ice bath. I would get a bigger bowl, fill it with ice, set this one down inside, and just stir and stir and stir, and it would cool. But I don't need it right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to taste it because it's actually boiling, and it would burn my mouth. Puddings and curds, things like this, can form a film on the top, kind of like sometimes they call it a skin. I think that sounds gross, so I say film. So you want to put something over the top. You know, we don't want to use foil or plastic, ideally. We use them in our house sometimes, but it's not ideal. I prefer to have, to use parchment. So to get this to fit on, I'm going to take my piece of parchment and fold it into quarters. I'm going to kind of guess here. This is one of those times where it's close enough is going to be close enough. And set that right on top. And that will keep it from forming a film. And I'll put this in the fridge, and it'll be ready for when I have my scones and I have tea time, or I decide to make some sort of parfait. I don't know that you could freeze lemon curd. I've never tried it. Maybe you can, but it doesn't seem like something you would want to freeze. But you can definitely make it ahead because it will last in the fridge for a long time. So, you know, when I think of lemon curd, I think of things like I said, tea parties, like a little girl's birthday party, or a baby shower, or a wedding shower, or Mother's Day brunch, something like that. And you're going to be having little tiny cakes and all kinds of pretty things. This is definitely something that you can make way ahead, a week ahead even, no problem, and have it just ready for you when the day of your event arrives. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I just love to show you things like this from time to time. Steer away from always doing Instant Pot stuff. I love my Instant Pot. I'm about to use it in just a few minutes for dinner, but just to show you, you can stick with this healthy way of eating, paleo, autoimmune paleo, anti-inflammatory. There are lots of different names for this way of eating that we follow in my house, and still have really, really good food and yummy treats and just special stuff that tastes amazing and was super fast to make. So I hope you enjoyed this one. You can find the recipe at autoimmunefreecookingclub.com, and I hope to see you back here next time in my kitchen. Bye, everybody.